So thank you so much, everyone, for your interest in the Lang1 program. First of all, congratulations to everyone for being accepted into the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. It's an amazing faculty. So today we will talk a little bit about one of the programs within the Faculty of Land and Food Systems that is offered to first-year students. So before we begin, it would be great if we introduce ourselves. So my name is Fernanda Tomaselli. I am the coordinator of the Lang1 program, and I also teach. I'm a lecturer at the UBC, and I also teach the first year integrative seminar that is a very important part of the Lang1 program. In addition to Lang1, I teach second year courses in the Faculty of Forestry. So Shannon, do you want to go?
No.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Shannon Blakely. I'm the Student Transition and Engagement Advisor within LFS Student Services. I help new students and year one students throughout their first year with questions around things like course planning, how to get involved, and I support Land 1 students in particular. So if you do end up applying to this program, you'll likely see lots of emails from me, and I'll be helping you throughout your first year.
Hi, everyone. My name's Caroline. I am a third-year student in the dietetics program here in LFS, and in my role as a student ambassador with LFS Student Services, I've been coordinating all the events that are happening this week. I've been the one sending you the emails every morning with the attendance link, so it's nice to finally connect with you all virtually today, and I'm really excited to hear about Land 1 from Fernanda.
Armita.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Armita, and I'm a former Land 1 student in applied biology. Very nice to meet you all.
Amazing. So you will hear more from each of us very soon. All right. So thank you for those introductions. All right, you guys. So Land 1. So why is Land 1? So Land 1 is an option for first-year students in the faculties of forestry and land and food systems. So once you have been accepted into each of these faculties, you have the option of joining Land 1. So Land 1 is restricted only to these two faculties. So if anyone is in the Faculty of Science or Faculty of Arts, they cannot join Land 1. Okay, so it's exclusive to forestry and LFS. So how does Land 1 work? While I'm explaining, feel free to post any questions if there are doubts that you have on how Land 1 works. All right, so if you are a part of Land 1, you will take 16 credits together with the same group of people. So basically, this is the schedule for Land 1. In term 1, you take Biology 121, you take Math 180, and you also take the Land 1 Integrative Seminar. In term 2, you take LFS Forestry 150, that is scholarly writing and argumentation. You also take LFS Forestry 101, that is Principles of Microeconomics for Land and Food Systems and Forestry. And then you also take the Land 1 Integrative Seminar. So overall, these 5 courses are, 16 credits. Most of you will take more credits. All of those credits you will take according to the programs in which you are registered, and Land 1 is great because it allows you to taste a little bit of the small class environment with these 16 credits, but you can also take your other credits in the normal UBC courses. All right, so these are the only courses that are sort of restricted to Land 1. So students in Land 1 take these courses together. So I will explain very soon how does it work. One of the most important objectives of Land 1 and why Land 1 was created was to improve students' transition from high school to university. So although the first year at university can be very exciting and it's a very new experience, it can also be very challenging for many students. So first of all, the academics are very different. So the academics at university are, more challenging. Like most of you probably have like really good grades in high school. In university is not always like that. So the idea of Land 1 is to be this, group of professors and peers that is there to support you in this great and exciting, but also in this challenging time. So what are some of the benefits of Land 1? So one of the most important benefits of Land 1 is the smaller class size. So, if I would ask most of you what was the normal size of, your high school class. I imagine for most of you would be 15, 20, 30, maybe 40 students maximum. So class sizes at UBC are definitely bigger. So a first year class, it depends on the program or the specific course, but they can be, anywhere between 200, 300, 400 student course classes. So they are really big. Actually, at UBC, like a 100 to 200 student class is a medium-sized class. Okay, so the class size is like extremely different from your high school experience. Being in these large classes makes education a little bit more impersonal. It's harder to know other people in the class, and it's harder to know your instructor. So in Lang 1, our class size is approximately 50 to 60 students. So although this is bigger than high school, for most of you, it's small for UBC. So this really allows you to meet most, if not all, students in the Lang 1 group. And most students in Lang 1 develop, lifelong friendships from Lang 1. In my second year courses and even fourth year courses, I tend to see Lang 1 students sitting together. So these small class sizes are really important aspect of the program. Another important aspect of the program is that you take most of your classes in the same classroom. So just to give you one example, in term 1, we usually have biology from 9 to 10. And then from 10 to 11, we have the integrative seminar. That means that you don't have to move around. You don't have to change the classes. In term 2, that's the same thing. You take all of your classes in the same classroom. Although you may think this is not as important, it is, because UBC is a really large university and most of the classes do not take place in the same building. So sometimes you have to walk 10 to 15 minutes to be able to get to your next class. So being able to have, the same class, not having to move around, is a really special aspect of Lang 1. I just wanted also to highlight that the only class that doesn't happen in the same classroom is Math 180. So for Math 180, you do take the class, the big class with other 150 students or so, but then you have your dedicated tutorial only for Lang 1 students, and that one happens in the same classroom. Okay, so with math, you get a little bit of the taste of the big class, but then you have your own dedicated tutorial only with Lang 1 students. Lang 1 also offers more hands-on opportunities, so many first-year students do tell or do express that the education can be very abstract. A lot of the classes that you take are, physics, chemistry, math, and sometimes it is really difficult to see what are the applications of those classes and how they connect to real life or to, your interests. In Lang 1, we really try to offer students these hands-on opportunities so that you can sort of apply a little bit of what you are learning to the real world. So just to give you some examples, one of the favorite experiences from, I think, a lot of students is our 2-day trip to Malcolm Knapp Research Forest. So in that field trip, we go usually one day we dedicate to forestry activities. So LFS students really get to know a little bit about, measuring trees, calculating the carbon storage in trees, things that you probably will never do again, but that are, really fun to do. And then the second day of that field trip is dedicated to land and food systems topics. So for example, we go to a farm, we plant garlic. So it's a mix of LFS and forestry activities. We also have a partnership with Cypress Community Garden where we volunteer once or twice in the year. We have a field trip to the UBC farm, also to UBC Roots on the Roof, that it's a rooftop garden. The director of the garden is a former Lang 1 student, and we recently, a few weeks ago, we developed a partnership with Roots on the Roof to volunteer with them at least once every term, and we will have our own Lang 1 plot in Roots on the Roof. So it's way more practical than the traditional first year experience. Also, education is more integrated. Again, first year education sometimes is very isolated in the sense that you take biology, you take chemistry, you take physics, but nothing connects those different subjects. In Lang 1, we do a very strong effort to connect the different courses related to Lang 1. So for example, in the integrative seminar, we have a segment where we talk quite a bit about the economics. And that relates quite a bit, you know, to the topics that the students are learning in microeconomics. Sometimes we make connections with biology. Sometimes we have assignments that are integrated. So the same topic can be useful for 2 classes in Lang 1. And also, although for you students, you are in land and food systems, you will see the very important connection between forestry and LFS and how solving issues in both disciplines, it's important to think from the other discipline perspective. So just to give you an example, if we ever want to solve issues related to deforestation, we definitely need to work with the food system. So you really see those integrated topics in Lang 1. And we also talk about real life issues. So we discuss issues related to deforestation, climate change, sustainability, food insecurity. So it's very applicable. Also, a very important aspect of Lang 1 is the embeddedness of indigenous knowledge. So although, of course, we expose you to Western science and you will read, you know, scientific articles related to a number of topics, one of the things that we weave in Lang 1 is indigenous ways of knowing. So you get to see and understand things from the Western scientific point of view, as well as from the indigenous point of view. Sometimes these points of view complement each other, but sometimes not necessarily. So it's really interesting to see things, you know, from a diverse viewpoints. Finally, a personal connection with instructors is another really important aspect of Lang 1, and most of the students along the years have told us that this is something that they really appreciate about the program. Because Lang 1 is in smaller classes, instructors really get to know you and you get to know the instructors. So just to give you an example, my other classes are, you know, 120, 150, 200 students. I definitely do not know all of my students, but in Lang 1, 100% I know the name of all of my Lang 1 students, and I know more than their names. So, and it's the same with the other Lang 1 instructors. Like we talk with each other and we really get to know the students. So in this photo that you can see, you have the econ instructor in one of the Lang 1 socials. And here also in the center of the photo, you can see Sam, that was the teaching assistant for the previous year of Lang 1. So this year we had Debbie, that was an amazing teaching assistant, and the students also really bonded with the teaching assistant. So yeah, so this connection with instructor is pretty important. Also, we have a bunch of social activities that are designed to create that sense of community in the group. One of the examples that you have on one of the photos is our Lang 1 International Food Night. So this year we had an amazing array of food from different areas around the world, and it was a great way to celebrate the cultural diversity on the program. Depending on the year, sometimes we organize hikes on the weekends. Last year and this year, we also did scavenger hunt, which was a lot of fun. Also, Lang 1 students have a designated Lang 1 space. So this space is basically a room in the Macmillan building, that is the building from Land and Food Systems, and you guys have this space for you. So you can eat in the space, you can study there, you can socialize there. This is very unique, as first year students in Forestry and LFS do not have a particular space for you. So this one is really great, and I don't know if Armita will talk about it, but I think when students are in second year, they really miss their designated Lang 1 space because you only have access to this in first year. And on the right side, you see a photo of like different names on the wall. So one of the years, for example, we had envelopes with the name of each student in Lang 1, and it was a way to put like positive messages from students and from instructors to, you know, to other students. So it's just a way of building that community in the group. And finally, a really important objective is creating a greater sense of community so that students feel that they belong to the Lang 1 community and that they also belong to their faculties. So this is a photo of this year. So you can see Armita right in the center of the photo. All right, so you've heard from me. I'm an instructor in the program, but now I think even more important, hearing about the experience from a former Lang 1 student.
Thank you, Fernanda. So I will just start by saying I came into Land 1 not really knowing at all what I was getting myself into. I just saw that they advertised the smaller class sizes and a sense of community, and I thought that was a really good thing to have in your first year, especially when you come into a new place and you don't really know anybody and you don't really know, again, like what your experience is going to be. So it was a very simple application as well. So I just put my name down. I wrote what I needed to write. And I will say in the beginning, it was a little bit like everyone was a bit new to the area, to the country even, and we were all a bit awkward around each other. But I think especially after the field trip, we all got very close to each other. And I will say that most of us are now close friends, and we've often done a lot of activities outside of the class. We often stand around just after class for hours just talking to each other. And I will say it's a really good thing to have, because not only do we help each other with assignments, but we also help each other for those who have to like cook for themselves. We sometimes like go grocery shopping together. And I think it's just a really good thing to have in your first year when you're kind of lost and maybe figuring stuff out. And the small class sizes do really help. Fernanda touched on how big the campus was, and it is really big. I think it's about 1 kilometer if you do the full stretch from one end to the other, and sometimes you will have to do that kilometer in like 10 minutes. So it is really nice to have just like the same classroom, and you don't have to move around. Your instructor changes, and so it is a really good thing to have and not have to worry about, oh, I can't stay and ask questions. I have to run to my next class. So I think small class sizes, the community, and the hands-on experience is really nice too. It does give you a bit of a break. If you're stressed out with your other classes, you get to come into this almost like a different environment where you get to just see people that you know, see instructors that you know, and learn about stuff that can actually be applied to your future. And it's just such a nice thing to have, so that you can envision what your future might look like. And I will touch finally on the Land 1 lounge. I personally have used this lounge a lot. I will say I've been here probably every day that I could be. I'm in here right now, actually, just doing this meeting. But it's such a nice thing to have, because our libraries are often like packed. You will not be able to find a space unless you're running around for like 10 minutes. And so especially when final seasons come around and you're just studying every single day, it's such a nice thing to have a private space where it's often just you and people you know. You can eat, you can talk, you can be quiet. It's whatever you make it. And so just having that space and not having to stay at home or go to the library is just such a good thing to have. And I think just in general, the program is an incredible experience. And if you're unsure, I will say I recommend it, just because it is a wonderful thing to have. And I think it is, from what I've heard, better than the other like Science 1, Arts 1 programs, just because it's such a smaller cohort and you really do form like long-lasting connections.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Armita, for sharing about your experience. That's awesome to hear. So a little bit about the actual impact of Lang 1 on students. So these are results from surveys. We do surveys every year to assess how the program is doing, to improve things that need to be improved. And these results are from the previous year. So 92% of students agreed that the teaching strategies in Lang 1 helped their academic success. So as mentioned before, like instructors collaborate with each other. Like I know all the other Lang 1 instructors, and every year we are developing more of that connection, and we try to, share pedagogies and also collaborate in order to ensure that we support the students in the best possible way. So 92% of students agreed that they received support from other students in Lang 1. So again, as I mentioned initially, first year at university, I don't know, I think any student that hasn't had challenges. Like it is challenging. There are some classes that are very challenging. Like for example, math tends to be one of the most challenging ones, chemistry, physics. and students do need, usually that support. And because all of you are in the same boat together, you really support each other, and having those challenges really builds, I think, the group feeling. So it's great to see like most students do receive some sort of support from other students in Lang 1. 85% mentioned that they became more interested in forestry and LFS issues. So again, we try to make education more applicable. Like, as I said, first year can be extremely abstract, and students do not see, where all of these classes that you are taking fit in your program. In Lang 1, we discuss real life global issues. So then you can see the connections of your program to those issues. 92% agreed that they had plenty of opportunities to interact with professors in Lang 1. Yeah, again, so that close connection with instructors is really important. And then our goal, that is supporting students in their transition to university. So 85% of students agreed that Lang 1 helped them in their transition to university. So for most students in the program, it is, a positive experience, and they do feel supported and cared for during this big transition that all of you guys are about to have. So I just want to share 2 quotes from previous students. So the Land 1 community is so welcoming, and I am so happy I was able to be a part of it. I have made some amazing friends that I otherwise never would have met, as they are in a different faculty. It definitely helped my transition from high school to university. Lots of friendships in Lang 1 are from forestry and land and food systems students. So sometimes your best friend can be from a different faculty in Lang 1. And that's, amazing, because both faculties, although they are different, they share a lot of things. So it's great to be able to have friends from these other faculties. Our cohort had a great community feel. Our instructors were so engaging, and it felt like they were very invested in our learning engagement. So this year we did this, it's like a 2-minute video. So hopefully the audio will work, and I will share it with you. So it's just 2 minutes, and the students tell a little bit of, what do they like about the Lang 1 program.
What I like about Land 1 is that they provide a lot of opportunities to see future careers that we're going to have. Like field trips and like volunteer opportunities are very common in Land 1.
It has built my confidence while being here at UBC.
It has also made the transition between high school and university easier.
And of course, the amazing friendships.
Yeah.
I really like Land 1 because of this tight-knit connection within the community is making the transition from high school so much smoother, and all the professors are so caring.
The friendships you make within the classroom are not limited to the classroom. If anything, some of us have planned bonfires and beach outings on our own time over the weekends to help us cope over midterm season.
I think what I love about Land 1 is the community, because I've been hearing about my other friends talking who aren't in LFS and Land 1 especially. They don't really have that many close friends. So even if they find people in lecture, then they don't spend time with them outside of that. But this group, you know everyone, 50 people, and even if you're not friends with them, you're seeing them every day, so you get close with them.
I've really been enjoying Land 1 from the support from all the faculty and from all the friends I've made through classes and outside of classes as well.
I really enjoyed the hands-on experiences I got and the field trips.
I like Land 1 because of my friends, especially Josh.
I love the sense of community, and since it's a small class, I get to know everyone better and the teachers better too.
I think Land 1 is a great way to connect with a diverse group of people with similar views on the environment and on life, and I think it's just really fun.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So Shannon, can you talk a little bit more about the application process?
Yes, thanks, Fernanda. Okay, so the application process, it does require a separate application other than your application to UBC, and that can be done on the website land1.ubc.ca. The application is pretty simple to fill out. We're going to ask you some questions about your current grades in high school, how you've done in specific courses like biology, pre-calculus, chemistry, and then about why you think Land 1 is going to be a good fit for you. So again, a pretty quick application, but if you're interested in the program and you want to be part of the program, please do apply. The deadline is May 15th, so coming up in the next couple of weeks here. So be sure to mark that on your calendars if you're interested. You'll be starting the program at the same time as you start all of your other classes here at UBC in September. And there are no additional tuition fees for taking these courses. These courses are built into your degree programs. So you're still checking off degree requirements by being part of this program. So it's kind of a win-win. The only additional cost is for that 2-day field trip that Fernanda mentioned, and that'll be about $300 total. So if this sounds like a good fit for you, please make sure that you're getting your application in. Okay, so just a quick note in terms of looking at the requirements. These are the requirements that were listed for you to be admitted into UBC. So we know that you likely have met all of these requirements. One that we do want to flag is the one of Biology 12, Chemistry 12, or Physics 12. It is recommended that you have both biology and chemistry if possible at the grade 12 level. If you don't have Biology 12 or Chemistry 12, you will need to take an intro course before you can start on your degree requirements. Again, not impossible, but it may just slow you down slightly. With the Chemistry 12, the intro course does overlap a little bit with Land 1. However, we do have an agreement in place to allow any student who doesn't have that Chemistry 12 to still participate in Land 1. So still would encourage you to put your application in. I know that there might be some questions around what do I do if I have AP credit or IB credit? For those students, if you have credit for one of the listed Land 1 courses, you're allowed to drop one Land 1 course as long as you have transfer credit for that course. We believe that as part of the cohort learning process, you do need to be actively part of the cohort. There's only 5 classes, so if you're dropping more than one, you're not really contributing to the cohort experience as much anymore. So if you've got more than one course with transfer credit, you'll just have to choose which one you would like to drop and then keep the other one. And think of it as a really great opportunity to boost a grade in a subject that you may be confident in.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shannon. So if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email at land.1@ubc.ca or visit our website. And then feel free to let us know if you have any questions, and you can ask questions related to Land 1, but also take this opportunity if you have questions beyond Land 1, absolutely feel free to post them to the chat, or if you can raise your hand, 100%, you can do that as well. Yeah, so don't hesitate to send us any question to any of us or to Armita. If anything is unclear, if you have any doubts about how Land 1 may fit your program, etc., etc.